I think it's about time we had a conversation about how to get a business loan with no credit check. Don't you think so? Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous. If you're to ask me, if you are doing as superb as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about how to get a business loan with no credit check. You need extra capital for your business, and a small business loan seems like the logical next step, right? But the question is, how do you navigate the loan process when you want to avoid a credit check? Are there lenders out there willing to loan money to small businesses without pulling credit? Maybe your credit score is low and you don't think you will qualify for a loan or other financing. On the flip side, you may have a great credit score and you don't want to tarnish your report with inquiries from lenders. So, no matter your reasoning, there are financing options available that do not require a credit check. A no credit check really is just, as the name implies, is a loan in which the lender will not check your credit during the application and approval process. And minimum requirements to qualify for a no credit check business loan will vary depending on the specific lender. Most lenders will require strong business financials and a reasonable amount of time in business. So if you already have a relationship with an organization that offers business loans like American Express, Citi, or Square, the organization might be the easiest loan to get because they already have a relationship with you. They have a strong understanding of your financial statements. And one thing I want to say before moving on here is that no credit check business loans tend to be more expensive than alternatives. Additionally, this kind of loans often have shorter term lengths. So this is something you have to be aware of. And some banks offer no credit check business loans, but in general, it's very, very difficult because bank loans have such favorable terms and low interest rates. These institutions only want to work with the most creditworthy, low risk borrowers. So it should come as no surprise then that business loans through banks require a credit check. So for most banks, a minimum credit score of 700 is preferred. So if you don't qualify for a bank loan, you do have other options, and I'm going to actually show them to you in today's show. So the first step you need to take in getting a business loan with no credit check, you need to understand no credit check business loans. You need to understand the whole concept. And this is very important. It is possible to get a business loan without a credit check, but it is important to remember that your options will be limited. Traditional business lenders that offer low interest loans will always perform a credit check before approving a loan. However, some alternative lenders offer financing options regardless of credit score. So these lenders may not consider credit as a factor at all, focusing more on the performance of your business and the amount of revenue coming in. So if you have a low credit score or you don't want to add multiple inquiries to your credit score, some lenders perform something called a soft pull to pre-qualify the loan. A hard pull comes later on in the process, and this is really something you need to think about. And we'll go into the differences between hard and soft credit checks very soon. Why do lenders check credit? Very simple. It's all about the risk management process, right? Lenders loan money because it's a good way for them to make money through interest and fees charged on the loan. And lenders, whether they are traditional or alternative, they think about risk. Lenders want to work with low risk borrowers that are more likely to pay back their loans. One of the ways lenders assess borrower risk is by running a credit check. A low risk borrower, whether it is this is a person or a business, will be someone or a company that has a solid credit score and flawless credit history. So the ideal borrower will be an individual or a business with no collections, judgments, charge-offs, or defaults on past loans, and this borrower will ultimately present a lower risk to the lender. On the other hand, a borrower with a low credit score may have past defaults on loans, missed payments, or late payments, and all of this adds up to higher risk through the lens of a lender, really, if you think about it. Even if the borrower has a reasonable explanation for this negative credit report items, they will still be seen as a high risk. Even borrowers with no credit history at all may have challenges when seeking a loan, a personal loan or a business loan, because these borrowers haven't yet established themselves as responsible borrowers, and consequently, lenders are wary and unwilling to take on the risk of giving out a loan. And let's talk about hard versus soft credit inquiries. So a soft credit inquiry or soft credit pull does not affect your credit. So soft credit pulls are used to verify your identity and give lenders an overall picture of your credit worthiness. It is typically performed during the pre-qualification step to ensure you meet the basic requirements of the lender. A hard credit inquiry or hard credit pull will affect your credit. This credit pull gives lenders a more specific, detailed view of your credit history, and lenders can use this information to determine your loan approval, interest rates and/or fees, and if collateral or a cosigner is required. Step number 2. So step number 1, understand no credit check business loans. Step number 2, I want you to be strategic about no credit check lenders. The thing here is that when you should look for a no credit check lender really depends. There are two situations, and as I said earlier, but I'm going to go a little more in detail here. Now that you understand why lenders check credit scores, let's explore the reasons why business borrowers would seek out lenders that do not perform credit checks. And again, I spoke about this a little earlier, but I'm going to elaborate here more on the subject. So if you have bad credit, if you have a low credit score, you probably want to save time and avoid the hassle of getting rejected by lenders. So you're looking for financing options that consider other factors for approval. When you suffer from bad credit, it's not uncommon to be fearful of applying for a business loan from lenders that put credit scores first. Now, one thing I want to say here is that if you have personal bad credit, there are ways to actually get a business loan without opting for a no credit check business loan. You can actually seek a loan that is based on EIN only. And we have actually covered this topic on another show. There are EIN only business loans out there that you can get. In other words, you are putting the credit score of the business as the fulcrum, as the main criterion on which the lender will base the lending approval. So if you have a bad credit personally, but you have great credit on the business side, it's better to actually borrow in the business's name. You may also want to avoid unnecessary inquiries. So when you apply for a loan, a hard pull on your credit will show up as an inquiry on your credit report. Too many inquiries on a credit report may hurt your score, especially if you are in the top range in the excellent to exceptional range. I'm referring here to anything above 750. You don't want that. You don't want your score to be brought down because of multiple inquiries. Some lenders will not even work with you if you have too many inquiries. So if you plan on applying for other types of financing in the near future, such as an auto loan or mortgage, these inquiries could throw up a red flag, even if you have a high credit score. So the good news is that most lenders perform a soft credit pull during the initial pre-qualification stage. A hard credit pull is performed later in the process once you have decided to move forward with receiving the loan. An important thing you need to do if you want to get a business loan with no credit check is to check your credit score. And here I'm referring to two types of credit scores: your personal credit report and your business credit report if available. Before you apply for a business loan or a personal loan for that matter, it's always a great idea for you to know your credit score, even if you work with lenders that do not consider personal credit a factor for approval. This is because most lenders at least perform a soft credit pull, right? So by knowing your score, you will know if you meet the basic requirements of the lender. You may also find that your credit score is higher than expected, so you may opt to apply with lenders that offer more affordable loans with better terms. In the past, you had to pay to receive your credit score or sign up for monthly subscription services. Now, the good news is that there are online services that allow you to access your personal credit score at no cost, and some services even provide you with a free credit report and services such as credit monitoring, personalized ways to improve your credit, and financing recommendations. This is pretty cool, right? Think about that. So receiving your free score is easy. First, you want to choose one or more options from the best free credit score sites that are available on the internet, including annualcreditreport.com. Next, you want to sign up and enter your personal information, such as full legal name and social security number. And finally, you want to answer questions to verify your identity. And guess what? After that, you're in. So the frequency of score updates and the credit agencies reported vary, which is why you may want to consider signing up for more than one service. So you really want to know exactly what's happening in your Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion report. So once you have signed up, you can explore the website to learn more about your credit score, what's on your credit report, and recommendations for your credit situation. So if you find that your score is lower than expected, there are a lot of ways to actually fix that. If it's an error, you can actually make sure that the error is corrected. If it's because you have too many open credit cards or loans, that also you can fix that. All right, but you need to know your credit score, and it's the same strategy you need to apply for your business credit score if applicable and available. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. We're also having a conversation about how to get a business loan with no credit check. So number one, understand no credit check business loans. Number two, be strategic about no credit check lenders. Number three, you want to check your credit score. Number four, you need to know the best types of business loans with no credit check. And I'm going to go through the list with you here. We actually have a series of them here. So first, we have term loans. So if you're ready to move forward with a business loan that comes with no credit check, there are a few options available to you. Let's just kind of break down the types of loans you may qualify for, how your funds can be used, and our top lender picks. So first, you have term loans, and a term loan is an installment loan, and it provides you with a specific amount of money that is paid back over a set time frame through regularly scheduled payments. So these loans come with fixed or variable interest rates, and portions of each payments are applied to the loan balance and the higher charged by the interest charged by the lender. All right, and so maximum borrowing amounts, payment terms, and interest rates vary by lender. For most term loans, a credit check is usually required. However, there are exceptions to this rule, including the fixed rate business loans offered by American Express. Next, we have short-term loan. So with a short-term loan, you will receive a lump sum of money that you then repay over a set period. While many short-term lenders have terms of up to a year, more lenders are extending repayment terms to up to 3 years. The main difference between a short-term loan and other loans is that most use a factor rate instead of an interest rate. So the factor rate is a multiplier that is used to determine the total cost of your loan. For example, let's say you need a loan of $10,000. The factor rate determined by the lender is 1.2. So you multiply this rate by your borrowing amount, and you will see that the total cost of the loan is $12,000. In other words, you will pay $2,000 to take out the loan. And repayment terms are daily, weekly, or monthly rather. And your factor rate varies by creditworthiness or the performance of your business. And in terms of short-term loans, we have done research, and we recommend that you kind of take a look at PayPal working capital. So if you use PayPal for your business, you may qualify for a short-term loan from PayPal working capital, and your maximum borrowing amount can be up to 35% of your PayPal sales over the last year, up to $200,000 for your first loan. Okay, and also you can think about American Express working capital. This is another great option. If you need to pay your vendors, but your cash flow is lacking, American Express working capital can help. And this loan works similarly to a line of credit, but can only be used to repay your vendors. So with this loan, you can apply once with no credit check and then receive ongoing access to funds ranging from $500 to $150,000 to pay vendors anytime you need to. Another business loan that you might want to consider is a line of credit. So if you need a flexible form of financing, consider applying for a line of credit. And this is a form of revolving credit that can be used for any business purpose, from purchasing supplies and inventory to covering an emergency expense. And a line of credit, if you really think about it, works similarly to a credit card. However, instead of swiping your card for purchases, you can initiate draws from your account. That means money will be transferred from your line of credit to your business bank account. You can withdraw as much money as you need up to your credit limit, and you can then make multiple draws if needed. And in terms of line of credit, we actually recommend Fundbox. This is a great company. With the Fundbox, you can receive a line of credit up to $100,000. Repayment terms are 12 to 24 weeks, with the draw fees starting at 4.66%. And you repay your line of credit through weekly ACH withdrawals. We also have equipment financing. You can think about equipment financing. If your business needs updated equipment or you need to add more equipment as part of an expansion, consider equipment financing. And with this type of funding, you can receive the money you need to purchase long-term equipment, from heavy machinery to company vehicles. You'll be able to put the equipment into use immediately without having to pay the full cost upfront. And we love Currency here. So Currency is a platform for lenders that provide equipment financing. And so when you apply, Currency will connect you with a lending partner that best fits your needs. And through Currency, you can receive from $5,000 to $2 million to finance your equipment. And interest rates are between 6% to 24%. And fees, buyout agreements, and additional costs vary by lender. You also have accounts receivable financing and factoring. Accounts receivable financing is a unique loan option. If you have unpaid invoices that are causing cash flow issues, this type of financing could be the right solution for you. So with invoice factoring, you receive a lump sum of money for your unpaid invoices. The lender collects payment from the customers and pays you the remaining amount of the invoice minus any fees charged for the service. With invoice discounting, you can also receive a lump sum for your unpaid invoices. However, and this is very important, you are responsible for collecting money from your customer and paying back the loan plus any applicable fees. With accounts receivable financing, your unpaid invoices are the collateral. Your credit score is not a factor for most lenders, okay? However, instead, the quantity and quality of your invoices are what gets considered for approval. And for this, for accounts receivable financing and factoring, we recommend Lendio. And Lendio is really a loan aggregator that works with over 75 lending partners. So through Lendio, you can apply for many types of business loans, including accounts receivable financing and factoring. Step number 5, folks. Step number 5. I want you to know alternative types of no credit check business loans. And first, you have something called ROBS. Okay. And ROBS stands for Rollover as Business Startups. And this is a unique way to fund your startup. And with this type of funding, you use the money in your retirement account to finance your business. And here is how ROBS works. You form a new C corporation, then you create a 401k or another retirement plan for your new corporation. The next step is to roll over the funds from your existing retirement account into the new 401k. So these funds get used for purchasing stock in the corporation, and the proceeds from the sale of stock are then used to fund startup costs. And the great news about a ROBS plan is that it's not really a loan. You are not, quote unquote, borrowing from your retirement account, and you're not taking money from a lender, so there is no interest to worry about. Okay, when it comes to ROBs, we actually recommend the Bennett trains, and this is a great company. They have been doing this for a while now, and their costs are pretty reasonable. They charge a setup fee of $5,000 to start your customized ROBs plan, and after this, you have a monthly maintenance fee of $100, $130 that's required. And with the Bennett trains, you, based on our analysis, you will receive audit protection, compliance, and a team of certified in-house professionals to help create and maintain your plan. One thing I also want to say here in terms of understanding ROBs, how ROBs work, is that a ROBs plan is not without its drawbacks. Because if your business fails, your retirement money is gone. Very important to remember that. Because of all the paperwork and legal requirements, it's also necessary to hire a ROBs provider, which will charge you a setup fee and monthly maintenance fees. So done right though, a ROBS is a great way to finance your startup using your own funds. You'll save money on interest and will not have to worry about qualifying with the lender because you are rolling over your own retirement funds. So here, there's no credit check required. So this is something you have to be mindful of. One thing I also want to say here is that because of how the transaction in a ROBS is set up, you also will not have to pay taxes or early withdrawal penalties like you would if you simply took out the money from your retirement account. All right. Another option you might want to consider when it comes to getting a business loan with no credit check is through crowdfunding. And we all know that the rise of the internet has made it easier than ever to raise money. You can pay, everybody can pay their bills online, shop, and even find investors through crowdfunding, even lenders. And with crowdfunding, you can raise money to fund your startup by finding investors through an online platform. You give your pitch about your new business. Then all you do is you want to share your campaign through social media, email, and all over the web to get interested investors to contribute to your business. And when running a crowdfunding campaign, business and startup owners offer investors some sort of perk or incentive for investing. And what we've seen in our research is that in many cases, equity is provided in exchange for an investment. For other businesses, offering some kind of reward, such as a free or reduced price of common products, is enough to entice investors. And one of the best things about crowdfunding is that requirements are much more different from traditional business loans. Most crowdfunding platforms do not require a set time in business, a personal or business credit score, or even an annual business revenue to launch a campaign. All right. So we recommend right now in the US, we recommend KWABENA. This is really a nonprofit organization. And through KWABENA crowdfunded business loans, you can borrow up to $10,000 at 0% interest. That's pretty cool, which you then repay over 6 to 36 months. So KWABENA does not require a credit check. Instead, once your application is approved, you will enter a 15-day private funding period. So during that time, you will need to rally between 5 and 25 friends, family members, and colleagues to donate to your fund. So after you reach your lender target, your campaign will go live to the public, and you can interact with potential investors to try to crowdfund your loan within 30 days. When all money has been raised, you will receive your loan through PayPal within 1 week. Note that the maximum amount you can borrow is based on the age of your business. So for business ideas, only $1,000 can be borrowed. For businesses up to 3 months old, you can raise up to $5,000. If your business is in operation and bringing in revenue, you can receive the maximum amount of $10,000. And one of the best things about KWABENA is that you won't have to pay any interest on the borrowed funds. There are no additional fees for borrowing, so this is pretty cool. Besides KWABENA, you also have Acción, which is another nonprofit. But in terms of crowdfunding in general, you can think about Indiegogo, Kickstarter, right? Those are the two that are pretty cool. All right, folks. Today I was just talking to you about how to get a business loan with no credit check. My final thoughts are this. Funding a business loan with no credit check can be a challenging task, but it's not impossible. So before you apply for these loans, be aware of the higher cost, additional requirements, and other special considerations. Remember, your goal is to find an affordable loan that gives you the best return on investment so you can launch or build your business without taking on unnecessary debt. So 5 steps you need to follow. Understand no credit check business loans. Number 2, be strategic about no credit check lenders. Number 3, you want to check your personal credit score and your business credit score if applicable. You want to know in number 4, the best types of business loans with no credit check. And number 5, you need to know the alternative types of no credit check business loans. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.